What's up, everybody? One Fun Guy podcast in the studio, just hanging out tonight, going over some notes. I am going to meet my friend Randy tomorrow. He's going to be a guest in 2 weeks on the show, so that'll be interesting. I haven't talked to him in quite some time. We were really close growing up, and life happened after high school and college, and we kind of grew apart. And Facebook brought us back together, so it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. But anyways, I'm just hanging out now, guys. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribes on YouTube. If I do that, I will go live tonight on YouTube, and I'm super excited to do it. I'm one away, guys. So if anybody's watching this show and can head over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, One Fun Guy Podcast, I would hit 100, and then I'll go live from YouTube, which will be my first. So I'm pretty excited about that. If it doesn't happen tonight, it should happen tomorrow. Tomorrow's guest on my podcast is going to be Paranoia Threat. We're going to talk about some mental health issues. We're going to talk about gaming, music, life in general, kind of the same old stuff. But she is well versed in the mental health topic, which is kind of nice. It's kind of what I don't want to say built my show on, but it's kind of the hot subject of things that are going on with everybody's health and their headspace and how to deal with certain issues that they're going through. So it's going to be an awesome show. I'm super, super excited about it. I can't wait to have her on. It's going to be a really fun show. With that being said, guys, I'm just going to make some notes now, getting ready for my podcast tomorrow. Just so you guys know, if you are trying to start a podcast or you just want to talk to people in general, I find it easier to make notes, right? Because if I write it down, number one, I won't forget it. Number two, I have a basis of what I can go on. And number three, if something were to happen with your electronic device, you could still get to them. So pen, paper, it's kind of old school, but necessary, right? So with that being said, guys, I'm just hanging out tonight. I want to post this video on YouTube. So for right now, I am not going to have anybody on Battle or get on the show unless it's Paranoia Threat. She said she might hop on. I just do that, guys, for two reasons. One, I don't want to invade anybody's privacy about being on with a guest that they don't want to have their stuff posted permanently. It's different when you go live here on TikTok because in 30 days it erases, but I don't want to push that boundary of anybody who doesn't feel comfortable going live with somebody else on. So for now, I'm just going to hang out, guys. I'm going to post this video over to YouTube, and then I'll come back on and hang out. I'll hang out tonight. The Clubhouse is going to be live at 8:30 tonight, so I will be joining Overthink Queen with her business in the Clubhouse tonight. And then once we're done with that, I'll hop back on here. So I'm just kind of hanging out now. I'm trying to fish for like one or two specific people that I would have on with me right now. But if that doesn't happen, it's not a big deal. I was talking with Reaper last night. We sent a message. We're going to be in contact. It's a really kind of cool thing of what happens in this social media world. Of who you can meet and who you could come across just because you went live. So I'm always super excited about that. Kelly Wholesome is on. We actually chatted earlier. He's a new friend now, so we're kind of buddies now. So we're just again kind of hanging out and meeting people and networking and stuff like that. It's a really cool platform to do that. I really enjoy what this platform is all about, and I really enjoy it. It's a great thing to do. I really enjoy my podcast. I love doing everything that I'm doing now. So like I said, I am just gonna post this over to YouTube. So I don't want to get anybody else on with me because like I said, I don't want to violate anybody's privacy with posting videos that are going to be permanent over on YouTube. But if you can subscribe to my channel, I'm hoping to hit 100 tonight, guys. If I hit 100 subscribers tonight, I'll go live on YouTube, which will be my first live from there ever. So I'm super excited about that. I'm trying to figure out StreamYard. I'm in the process of doing that now. So a lot of things are happening. Positive stuff, fun stuff, guys, right? Things that are exciting to me. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Thank you for hopping in and being a part of this. You're an OG in this. But yeah, so I'm just excited about getting the podcast, getting to that next level. And then once I get to that level, bringing it up to the next level. There are quite a few to go, and I am at the very bottom. But I'm working hard, and I'm staying passionate, I'm staying focused, and I like what I'm doing. So if you guys want to be a part of this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, One Fun Guy Podcast over there. Thank you so much. I'm super excited. I'm one away. I'm at 99 right now. Let me double check. Maybe I hit 100 and not even know. I checked about 10 minutes ago, and I was still at 99. So let's see. So guys, I'm still at, oops, let me get back on here. 99, if you can see that, right? 99 subscribers. I need 100. So I need one more person to subscribe, and then things will start to pick up for me. I kind of, am positive about that. So with that being said, guys, this video will head over to YouTube in about 20 minutes. I'm just going to stay on. I want to just promote my podcast. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms, guys. So that's over here on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, One Fun Guy Podcast. If I hit 100, guys, I will go live tonight from YouTube, which will be the first time I'll be able to do that. So I'm super, super stoked. So I need 100 subscribers to do that, guys. I'm almost there. I'm so very close, and I'm excited, and I thank everybody for their help and support and being able to do that, guys. It took me a while to get to 100. Hey, Mel, but once I get that to 100, I'll go live from YouTube and I'll post the first video there. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. So it'll be a learning experience. It'll probably be a little weird and quirky, but fun nonetheless, right? So I'm excited about that, guys. So with that being said, Michelle, you're the best. I like I said, guys, I can't thank you so much for being a part of this and being at Mel and Overthink Queen and everybody else, guys. You are pivotal. You guys are my rock, right? My foundation. This was built upon you guys helping me. So I'll never forget that, guys. And I said yesterday on the videos, right? When I look back and and I'm at that kind of, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, 100, 200, 300, a million. I'll look back on these first videos, these first maybe 10 or 15 that I've done and say, wow, look at where I started from, right? Basically nothing. I'm basically, at this point, I am here to just be, a light and an entertainment source for you guys. Maybe a little bit of education, maybe a little bit of empowerment. If I could help you guys hit your goals and focus on your dreams, that's what I want to do, guys, right? So I want to be entertaining as much as I can, but I also want to be a kind of pusher for everybody else to live out your dreams and do what you want to do, whether it's here on social media, whether it's a physical thing that you want to accomplish, whether it's a goal you have or a dream you have. I always say, guys, if you can manifest it in your head, you can make it a reality. If you can think it, you can do it. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes money. Yes, it takes effort. Yes, it takes hard work, but it can be done. And if I could be the person that says, hey, if I did it, you can do it. I can do it, right? So as I said on my show last night, it was awesome because of the fact that I met some cool people on my live last night, but it's one of those things where I feel like this platform here could be something great down the road, and that's what I want. But like I said, I'll never forget the people who started this with me, right? So I will always be thankful, and I will always be appreciative of that. It's awesome. What's up, Haley? Just the way that this kind of manifested in itself. So if I could be a, glimmer of hope or a little light that shines, that's what I want to do, right? I want to empower people to live out their goals and live out their dreams. Like I said yesterday, I had somebody on that I met for the first time, Reaper. We just got to talking, and we had a lot in common. We went back and forth, but the ideology that you can do something bigger and do something with your life is great. I've always said I am happy with where I'm at, guys. I've worked hard to get where I'm at. I have a great family life. I have a great job. I have, a great house. I have an awesome vehicle. Like everything that I've had, I've worked for, and I'm proud of it. But there's always something that I want to do more, and the podcast is what I'm passionate about, right? So work is work. I enjoy what I do. I like doing it, but I'm passionate about podcasting, like having conversations with people, using the skills I've learned at my job to pivot that and work on talking to other people outside of what I do. So it's great for me, right? So I've had all the skill sets of learning how to talk to people taught to me by many of my peers and people that I admire and looked up to. But I could use those skills in a different setting, right? So now I'm using them to help people and to basically get some viewership on me. And those are the three things that I want to do, guys. I always say I want to entertain, I want to educate, and I want to empower. And if I could do one of the three things, I'm a success. If I could do two of the three things, even better. And if I hit the hat trick and I can do all in one, well, then this is what the goal of my show is, to educate, empower, entertain, and empower. So I think I'm doing that, and I feel like I'm successful, even though I'm a real rookie in this, right? I've only been podcasting for about a month and a half now. I have 9 under my belt, and Paranoia Queen's going to be tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. She is a 988 operator, guys. So if you don't know what that is, it's not the suicide hotline, but if you are in an acute crisis, you dial that number and somebody else will kind of walk you through it. Whether you're having something as simple as anxiety kicking in, or you're having a panic attack, or you're in the middle of it, or if you are at the end of that road, right, and that dialing that number is your last lifeline of what you're going to do next, whether you're going to be a part of this earth or you're going to move on to something else, right? So that's kind of a big job to have, right, guys? That you are maybe the last line of somebody staying here and being with us in our human bodies on earth, or moving into that spiritual world, right? That's a big task to undertake. That's a pretty big burden to do that, right? To punch in at your job and wait until somebody contacts you when they're in their acute crises, and you have to walk them through it and help them navigate to see another day. Those are big steps to fill, guys. So, I don't take that stuff lightly. So she is going to be a great guest on my show because that's what she does, right? She's a 988 dispatcher. She gets those calls and walks people through it, which is pretty awesome. It takes a lot of patience, but a lot of mental fortitude to do that, to get somebody to get through what they're going through to see another day. So I'm excited to have her on. It's going to be a very powerful show. I'm guessing it's going to be a very moving show. And so I'm super excited to have her. And then I'm meeting my buddy Randy for lunch tomorrow. Thank you guys for all the love and support. I appreciate it. So my buddy Randy's got a great story because we grew up playing sports together. He lived in the town over than I did, and we were very good friends growing up. We were at each other's houses. We did Boy Scouts together. We did baseball together. We were in camps together. We did kind of everything together. And we were very, very close. And then, like I said, as life happens and things move on, we grew apart. High school and college, we stayed close in high school. But as we got to college, he ended up going to the military. And his story is incredible because he's been a marathon runner. He's got, a family now. And it's just all these cool things that happen that I get to catch up with him tomorrow. But I knew him from when I was 6 years old till about 18 or 19 as close. And then we grew apart. So all those years we spent every weekend together. We were always together playing sports, his family, my family. And then again, life just happened. And then now we're reconnecting. So I'm super excited about that. So I get to see a friend that I haven't seen in a while before. So I'm really, really, excited for that. And then he'll be a guest on my podcast. So it's just how you navigate this. So it's networking, meeting new people, reconnecting with old friends that you've had, and kind of tying that together, which is what is awesome about my platform, right? That's why I'm so passionate about the podcast, because not only get to talk to people from different walks of life, I also get to reconnect with people I've lost touch with, but I also get to meet new people that I get to learn all about them. They get to learn all about me, and then we get to have a conversation in front of the world. I mean, how cool is that, right? At least I think it is anyway. So I'm super excited about where the podcast is going and what's on. And then, again, Overthink Queen was my first guest on my podcast. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that. We were both kind of nervous. We didn't know what to do. It was kind of, I had some questions for her. I had some stuff that I wanted her to answer. We had a great conversation. But as we started really getting into our own, time was up. So I would love to have her back on, maybe like episode 25 or 30, right? Just to see where I was the first time I hit play and then to where I'm at now. And then when I hit my 100th episode, look back at number one. When I hit my 500th episode, look back at number one. Because the number one is always going to be your first, right? And that was Overthink Queen. She was my first guest on my podcast ever. So no matter where I go in my podcasting career, if you want to call it that, or my podcasting life, that number one episode will always be special to me because it was her number one. But number two, it was the navigation of what to do, right? So in 9 episodes, I've gotten better than where I've been now. But in episode 100, I'm going to be 10 times better. And at episode 1,000, I'm going to be 1,000 times better. So that's what I'm looking forward to, the process, the growth, the experimentation, the equipment, right? I'm kind of raw now. I have an iPad, a microphone, a laptop, and my phone. I have a studio as my basement. I mean, it's comfortable, sounds great, right? I can't ask for a better setup, but think where I might be in 5 years, where I might be in 10 years, and I might be in 20 years, right? So if I'm to the point where I started now, in 5 years, if I get to the point where the guys that I admire, like Sean Ryan and Andy Stumpf, they have their own studios, they have their own team of people that edit all their videos, they make all their stuff, they have all their filmographers, they have all their editors, they have all their, producers. I would love to have that, right? What if I got to the point where I could hire a team of people to help me with my podcast? That would be awesome, right? That's the goal, to grow and grow and grow. But for right now, I'm a one-man show. Well, technically a two-man show, or a two-person show, I should say, because Overthink Queen helps me out a lot with a lot of the IT stuff and how to navigate through social media. But for the most part, it's me. I do the show, I set it up, I do my podcast, I have my conversation, I edit my video, I upload it, and I store it in YouTube. So there's nothing really secretive about what I do. There's nothing special about it. It's just the conversations that I have with people are special to me. And hopefully whoever watches gets, some enjoyment, some education, and some empowerment out of what I have. So tomorrow I'm excited for Paranoia Threat because I think it's going to really hit all three, right? She's a super fun person. She's into video gaming and the Discord and Twitch thing, which is all new to me. But she's also a social media influencer, but she has one of the coolest jobs on the planet, right? Like, she gets to have conversations for a living, right? Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. So that is awesome, right? She gets to do the things that she wants to do, in her personal time, which is also her social media time. But what a great job to have, right? That you get to really help people every day. There's very few jobs on the planet where people could say that they help people. Obviously, nurses and doctors and teachers and things like that. But somebody who actually walks through somebody in crises is awesome, right? Because you talk about somebody saving a life of a person they've never met. Doctors do it, nurses do it, paramedics do it. But to have somebody walk you through one of the most traumatic times in your life where what happens next could affect the outcome of a person's spot on this earth is a pretty powerful gift, right? It takes a lot of knowledge and skill and ability to do that. So I am excited to have her on. I can't stress that enough. Just the questions I have for her are going to be awesome. And she's going to tell some stories of things that have happened to her with people on. So it's going to be a really great show. But I mean, what an awesome guest to have, right? So I've had first responders on my show. I've had paramedics on my show. I've had all of that. But this is something uniquely different because you're not hands-on, right? You're not the person giving CPR or resuscitating or hitting them with an AED. You're walking them through a conversation which you've never met the person before, and you could potentially get somebody to stay here on earth to see another day, right? And I always say this, guys. I came across this quote the other day, and I have to Google it to see who said it. But somebody says you only live once, and the quote is no, you only die once. You live every day. So every day you wake up, you have another chance at life. Once you are dead, your here on earth is gone. You don't live anymore. But you live every day. Every day you wake up, you have a new day. So you can navigate through all your stress, all your problems, all your circumstances every day. Every day is a new day. Death is permanent. Once you die, you're no longer here. Then you start your next journey into the universe. But while you're here, you live every day, which is such a powerful quote, right? Because people always say, oh, you only live once, you should do that. You only live once, you should do that. Well, true, yes, but you live every day, right? You only die once. So that's kind of powerful. That to me is a great quote. So that's something that I have written down. That's something that I want to, utilize in my daily life, right? So all the problems I had yesterday, all the stresses I had yesterday, all the insecurities I had yesterday, they're all gone. I don't go back to yesterday. I can prepare for tomorrow, but I live now, right? So everything that I do here is what happens to the next hour, the next minute, the next second. Because we can foreshadow our future, we can't go in our past. So all the mistakes I've made, all the things that I've done, all the stuff that I've lived through are learning experiences. I can say I'm not going to do those again, or those were really great experiences. I want to do them again. But living is now. So that's the great thing. So that's where I kind of put my focus in my podcast, and kind of like how I select my guest a little bit, because I want to have people, number one, that bring something to the table. But number two, everybody can bring something to the table, right? We all have our own life experiences. We all have our histories. We all have our learning. We all have our growth. We all have, that magic that we've had of life, right? So when I tell somebody you should be a guest on my show, and they're like, well, I don't really know. I'm just me. I don't have anything special to bring. I don't have anything important. You have a lifetime of living to bring to the table. You have stories. You have experiences. You have knowledge. You have all of that stuff. You just have to realize that you have it, right? And that's pretty empowering, because we've all lived on earth. Whether you're 10 years old or whether you're 100 years old, you've lived. You have years of experience to fall back on. So I think that's a really, really beautiful thing to have manifest in an episode of an hour conversation that I get to have with somebody. I get to bring out their life in the forefront, which is pretty powerful, right? So, and I'm not the only one, right? Anybody who has a podcast or talks to somebody on a daily basis that gets to know somebody kind of delves into the history of that person. And that's how you get to meet people. That's how you get to have, friendships forged. That's how you get to form new relationships with people that you haven't met yet. And I said that, yesterday, this platform is great for that, because you can send somebody a message and say, hey, I like the shirt you're wearing. Hey, I like the hat you got on. Hey, I like your sunglasses. But if you were sitting in a restaurant and somebody sitting next to you had that, would you tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, I like your shirt, right? People would never do that. But in here, you could send somebody a message and say, hey, I like what you were doing. I liked what you had on. I think you look cute, or you're handsome, right? You wouldn't go to a stranger at a space and say, hey, you're cute, right? Or you're handsome. You would just kind of think it and walk away. But in here, people do it all the time, right? I go through all my messages, right? And I got hearts and thumbs up and, oh, I like this, I like that. But you wouldn't say that in a social setting other than social media, where you would say, oh, I like what you have on, or I like what you're wearing. So that's why I love this platform. I love the networking that this brings. And that's kind of what I try to bring out and manifest in everybody. Try to get some growth and some experiences and stuff like that to really motivate people to do what they want to do in life, whether it's the smallest thing of, hey, I'd really like to go to this place, or I really want to try this restaurant, or then do it, because you only have the short time you have, right? So, like I said, if you can dream it, you can do it. Even if it's something as small as, hey, I want to buy those shoes, right? I don't really have enough money to do it now, but down the road, I want to get those shoes. Well, you work, you save, you work, you save, and then you buy those shoes. And that's the gratification you get of being here, right? So that's kind of how I approach life. I say, I want to talk to this person. Well, I'm going to try my best to get a conversation with that person. Whether they're a mega superstar and I'm just a small person, we're all people, right? So they might be a little bit hard to reach or get a hold of, but I'm sure going to try, right? So I tell Crystal all the time, I'm going to drop this person a message and see if they'll come on. Yeah, they might have a 200,000, people following them, and they might be stars on social media. But if I don't ask, I don't know. So all I could do is shoot them a message and say, hey, I love what you do. Do you want to be a guest on my podcast? And so far it's worked out pretty well. So I'm excited about that, right? So it started with Paranoia Threat. We met on a little bit of a conversation that we had on one of her lives. We followed each other and we kind of got to know each other. And that's the same thing that's happened with, all the other people that I've been on and I've met here. It's just a small little, hey, I like what you're doing. You want to follow my podcast? Here's my link. We like each other's stuff. We fall into each other's lives, and then we get to know people. So that's kind of what I am. So, and I always say on all of my lives that I do here and I post over to YouTube. If you want to be a guest on my show, just ask. If you want to be a guest on my podcast, all you need to do is send me a message. Either message me here or on onefunguypodcast@gmail.com. So you can reach me. I check all my messages. Or I always say, if you know somebody, right? Because you never know who people know, right? They could say, oh yeah, I went to school with Michael Jordan, right? I know him. Awesome, right? So I'm just using him because he's probably the most iconic person on the face of the earth. But the reality is you never know, right? So I always say, if you know somebody, so I always tell the story with Crystal, right? Her husband's, I think it's cousin is Jordan, this guy I met. He's in a band and he wants to be on my show. And I was like, awesome. So we're going to talk and have a conversation, and go from there. So it's really awesome, that happened. So, the little things, right? So that's a win for me. That's another guest that I get to have, that's on my show, that I can talk to and go from there. So the idea is that, I always try to stay focused on what I'm doing with my podcast, but I just like to have fun as well, right? Because you never know who you're going to talk to, that somebody might turn out to be a great guest on your show that you never thought, in a million years you'd have on. So with that being said, I always throw it out in the universe. If you want to be a guest on my show, just ask. I'd love to have you on. We could talk about whatever you're passionate about. So it might be sports, it might be movies, it might be music, it might be art, it might be entertainment. It could be something as, simple as animals, right? People are passionate about their pets. People are passionate about their kids, their spouses, their parents, right? So whatever your focus is on in life, we could talk about that. So that would be, great. So, Classy's on. She said, I love that, right? So if you want to be a guest or you want to be on my show or you think you have something, to bring to the table, just let me know. And if you don't, I'll find something, right? I'll make you look into your history and say, you did this. That's a cool story. You should tell it to the world. And I'll get that out of you. That's fine. And that's because what I do here is kind of the same thing what I do at work, just with different people. So, getting stuff out of them and getting to have a conversation and getting to know somebody on a small level and having that relationship grow into something where I could utilize down the line is kind of what I do. So that's my basic, point of all this is that the conversations, no matter who they are with people, and we're all people, right? So you could be the most evil, vicious, violent person on the planet. You're still a person. You could be the nicest saint human, gonna be, sitting on, the rainbow when you cross over. We're all people, right? So having somebody who has a different background from somebody else, you have to find the connection between yourself and that person. And that's kind of where I don't want to say my gift is, but it's something that I've always been able to do, right? I've always been able to find something with somebody to a conversation to say, hey, that's cool. So Crystal always jokes around with me that says, how do you meet people everywhere you go? You make friends everywhere you go. Well, you find that connection with somebody, right? Whether you're swimming in the middle of the ocean and you're one of two people there, you're going to talk to the person, right? You're going to say, "Hey, great day," right? We're in the middle of the ocean. We're in a beach, right? Or you're going to be at a restaurant and you're going to, overhear a conversation of somebody that might have said something where, "Oh, I've been there," or "I remember that." So it's just those little things. You pick up on things, you listen, you hear, you pay attention, and then you kind of go from there. So that's how I start conversations with people. And again, I'm lucky that I'm not shy, where I'm not timid to go up to somebody and start talking to somebody that, I can do. But the reality is that we all are people, right? We all have experiences. We all have, stuff that we can talk about. So if you are in that environment and you see somebody there, you just kind of say, "Hey, this is how we go about how we're going to navigate this conversation." So, I'm just a little bit better at it, but everybody has the ability to, right? We can, and that's again what I love about social media versus, in front of people, right? So if you're in a room with somebody and you're like, "I would never talk to that person ever," right? You look at them, they make eye contact with you, you make eye contact with them, you're weirded out. You're like, "Nope, that's never going to happen. I don't foresee myself ever talking to that person." But when you're in a social media environment, you have no problem sending somebody a message saying, "That's great. I like what you're doing," or "That's cool. You have a uniqueness to you," right? So if you're in a room with real people, you're not going to be able to talk to them, maybe not. But in here, you'd have no problem sending a message out and hitting send and sending that message to them. But in real life, it's more difficult, right? So when you are looking at the totality of everything and the way that the situations are, this is why I love social media, because you can reach out to them and kind of go from there. So Paranoia thought I actually hopped on, so I'm just going to send her an invite if she wants to hop on. This is the purpose of the show, was to promote our podcast for tomorrow. This will go on YouTube because we already talked, and she's like, "I have no problem with you sending my stuff over there." Again, that's why I don't have guests on when I do these promotional things for my podcast, just because I don't want to have anybody unwillingly have their stuff put out to be saved on my channel without their permission or consent. It's just something I don't feel comfortable doing. Most people are like, "Oh, I wouldn't mind it anyways," but I want to know for sure, right? So I always want to make it to where I have somebody's, permission or consent to do it. So that's why I tend not to do that when I'm here, or live. So, from there, yeah, take your time. I'll be on for 5 more minutes. We're just chatting away here, just getting everything ready. But again, that's why I love this platform, right? Because you can do the things you wouldn't necessarily do in a human setting that you could do behind a camera or behind a phone or an iPad or a tablet or whatever source of, equipment you have to get on. But that's what's great about the power of social media, is because you can reach those people that you wouldn't be able to reach on a regular basis. So it's great. And again, people that use this platform to springboard themselves find themselves being more comfortable talking to people, right? So I'm all by myself. I'm talking on a camera and people are watching me, right? It's a great thing to think. It's powerful. It's a great tool to have. But I'm more comfortable, way more comfortable now than I was, a year ago. And the stuff that I did with my wife being on camera, I was way more comfortable than I was 10 years ago, right? So when I was in college and you said, "Hey, someday you're going to get in front of people and you're going to talk," you're like, what are you talking about? That's never going to happen, right? But now look, here I am. So this is great. But again, I love the platform for that reason. I really feel that it's, a great tool that we all can utilize. And again, as we talked last night in our group, it could be for bad, right? There's some pretty mean people in the world, and some people that have, some bad things to say about people and can really be hurtful, but we don't want that in our group, right? We use this as a powerful platform to uplift and promote and help and share and like and follow. There's always people that are going to be mean-spirited. That's just nature, right? Wherever there's a nice guy, there's a bad guy. Wherever there's, an evil guy, there's a better guy. So, or girl, right? Person. So that's always going to be the case. But I always tell people, if you don't like what I'm doing, just scroll up. You don't have to come in here and badmouth somebody, because I always say, again, what we're going to be talking about tomorrow on our podcast is, you never know when somebody's live what their headspace is like. That might be the last time that they think about anything, right? So they might do it as a cry for help. I'm going to go on and see if I can find one person that's going to be nice to me. And everybody that gets on is mean to that person, right? What do you think is going to happen when they end the live, right? We don't know, but we don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, right? We don't want to make it in a situation that's bad go to worse, go to ending, or potentially ending. That's not what we want to do here. We want to uplift everybody. We want to help people. So just be nice, be kind, be supportive. If you don't like me or what I'm doing, it takes literally 1/10 of a second to scroll up to go to the next person, right? I'm not for everybody, and I know that, and I understand, the demographics of social media, but at the same time, we don't need the negativity, right, guys? We're doing this for a reason. Everybody's here for whatever they want to do. I'm here to support a podcast. Some people are on here just to make friends, just to have an escape from their normal life. Awesome, right? Let's meet new people. Let's network. Let's, find the best in people. Let's help each other out. Let's get to know each other, grow as a community. There's, 300 million people in this world, 330 million, or probably more, right? There's 1 billion people that live in China. So we're talking maybe like 1.8 billion people on the planet, right? Or 1.7 billion people on the planet. I think there's 330 million in the United States, right? That's a lot of people. Not that you're going to get to know everybody, but it's a great community to at least try, right? To find about other cultures, languages, abilities, skills, knowledge, right? That's the best thing ever. So thanks, Michelle. I appreciate it. I like I said, if I hit 100, I will go live on YouTube tonight, even if it's for a minute to say thank you to everybody. I'm super excited about that. I keep checking just to see if anybody else hopped on. As soon as they do, I will go live as soon as I'm done with this, and I will get on my YouTube channel and go live for the first time ever. I'm still at 99, guys. 99 subscribers. So as soon as I hit that 100 and it goes over, I will be the first person to thank everybody live from YouTube. You know what? I just did it, guys. I just hit 100. So I'm going to screenshot this and I'll post that. That's a pretty big milestone for me, guys. So you are witnessing this live on my live that I just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys all. I wish I could, come out and give everybody a high five or a hug or, whatever. But now I'm super stoked, right? I just hit 100, right? So right now on this live, I just hit 100 on YouTube. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to upload it up. I'll wait for Paranoia Threat to get on. We're just going to talk a little bit about tomorrow just to kind of promote what we're doing. But as soon as I'm done with this, I am going over to YouTube and I'm hitting that live button. And it is going to be awesome. So I'm super excited, guys. So anybody who's here with me, the 6 of you that are on, the 8 of you that were on earlier, and everybody that's been around, this is awesome, guys. This is a milestone, right? I did it. I hit the 100. So now when you go to my YouTube channel and you see that I'm here, guys, it is official. I am at the big 100. So I can go live now. So that's it. So that's awesome. So one little next check mark on the thing, and I'll even write it down in my book that this was the night and the time that I hit 100. Like I said, so in 5 or 6 years when I'm at the million and I look back to this very night to say, hey, on Friday, March 29th at 7:38 Central Standard Time, I hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. So that for sure is going to be going in my book as a milestone thing. And I will mark it down and I will show you guys that I'm doing that. So it's pretty awesome. That was 7:37 p.m. Central Standard Time. 100 subs on YouTube. So how awesome is that, guys? So it's official. So we did it. Maddie, what's up? So now I'm excited, right? I just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. So that's not a lot, right? We all know in the grand scheme of things, but it's a lot to me, right? It made the world of difference to my night now, right? So I'm at 100. So this is awesome. So as soon as I'm done with this video, I will load this bad boy up on YouTube. And as soon as I get over there, the first thing I'm going to do is hit that live button and see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, guys, right? It should be fun. it should be cool. I hope it is anyways. It should be an experience. And then that'll post. I don't know how that works, right? I don't, if you make a video, does it just save or do I have to post? I have no idea. We'll figure that out. I have no idea about YouTube, but now I can start to navigate StreamYard and go live to YouTube, which is even better. So that might change the way I do my podcast now and how I navigate through it, because now I could do pre-recorded shows, right? I can pre-record them on StreamYard and I could send them right over to YouTube. So that would be kind of awesome. Mel, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Mel, I can't thank you guys. Michelle, Overthink Queen, LaQuincy, everybody who's been on it is been great, guys. Everybody's been fantastic. I can't thank you enough. Everybody that is, you guys are my core, right? So this is, like I said earlier, this is my my core, my OG people, right? So when I make it one day, right, and I get 1 million subscribers on YouTube and I'm celebrating that milestone and I look back to when I hit 100, this screenshot of everybody on right now is going to be awesome, right? So that is going to be great. So when everybody is here and you see that, and I'm in that mega stardom one day, and you guys are all my core group of people, and we're all moving up in the world, and we're all part of this. This is it, guys. You guys are my core, right? You're my OGs. You're my originals. So thank you guys for the love and the support. I can't thank you enough. Everybody who's been a part of this has been amazing. All my guests, everybody who's been on, Overthink Queen, she was my first guest, right? So that will always hold a special place in my podcasting world and my life and what I'm doing. And like I said, we'll have her on again, and we'll talk about the first times, right? Because we were super nervous, and she's a pro in front of the camera. I think I'm kind of professional in front of the camera, and we were both like, "What do we do? Like, what do we say?" That the picture fell off the wall. We were chuckling about that. We had some issues with the camera and the sound, and we were having a good time though. But we were live. It was my first one, so like I said, it goes in the bank. And then when I hit my 1,000th, episode, subscribers, and I'm at my, 1,000th episode, I will always look back at the number 1 through 10 and my first, right? These are my babies, right? This is how it's growing. So, that's it. So I'm super, super excited, right, guys? So 100 subscribers. Now I get the ball still keeps rolling, but it's a little bit brighter ball, right? It's a little bit bigger ball. The world just got a little bit bigger. So hopefully, like I said, I'm going to try to grow my channel. I'll go from 100. My next goal is going to be, 500, then 1,000, then 2,000, then 10,000, then 100,000, then 1,000,000, right? Those are the goals, right? And so we'll see what happens, right? It's got to start somewhere. So all right. So now you got to experience that with me, right, guys? So that's awesome. So when this live gets posted on YouTube, you'll all be a part of it. So it'll be forever on the One Fun Guy podcast channel, and you guys were all here for it. So that's awesome. We're all into this together, and we're all a part of this. So it's pretty amazing, right? So that will be awesome. So that's a pretty big milestone for me, even though it's minute in the grand scheme of things. It's big for me, so I'm stoked. But again, thank you guys all for doing this, for being a part of it. And then, like I said, as soon as Paranoia Threat gets on, she'll hang out with me for a little bit. We're just going to promote the podcast a little bit. She'll be able to share it to all her stuff. Like I said, she's got a Discord, a Twitch. I don't have any of that stuff. That's more for gaming, and for a lot of bands use it just because it's more accessible to what they're doing. Maybe down the road I'll get it. I'm not really savvy with that, but she has all that stuff. So she games and she does all that kind of cool stuff on the side as well. That's a universe that I have not delved in yet, but it's cool that she's going to promote everything over there. So more eyes on, right? She's got a pretty big following in the gaming community. She has a pretty big following here on TikTok. So she's doing the right stuff, making all the right moves. We're kind of, feeding off of each other and our energy and our ideas, about what we're doing. So that's going to be really kind of cool. And then, from there, it's basically going to be the podcast. And then, like I said, I always want to recycle my guest, right? And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in a great way, right? So when I've had guests on and we can kind of review everything that we've done, and we kind of go, yeah, 5K likes too, guys. Thanks for all the love and support, guys, right? So let's do this, guys. This is going to be cool. I am going to accept this person. Stuff that you do on TikTok, dude, that is awesome. That was Kaji. He is fantastic. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got off. I didn't kick him off. I hope nothing happened with that. But that dude is awesome. He is one of the coolest people I've met on TikTok so far. He plays heavy metal. He's into all the bands that I like. And that is one super talented dude right there. He is awesome. If you guys don't follow him, follow Kaji. He is amazing. He is one of the coolest people that I've met on TikTok. I don't know if I lost him or if he got lost. I'd love to have him back on. I'd love to have him as a guest. You talk about a super talented human being. That dude is awesome. He is a rock star, literally. He is an incredible musician. He's got a great following here on TikTok. He's built up a great channel. That is one dude that I like. He inspired me. So he was one of the few guys, one of the first guys I really followed on TikTok that was like, this guy is awesome. I don't know where he went. I would love to just talk to him for a little bit more. I know he's a super busy guy, and I know he's got a lot of stuff going on. I know he wanted to congratulate me, but if I could just get him back for a second, that would be awesome. He is a super, super awesome guy. If you don't follow him, guys, definitely follow him on TikTok. He is one of the coolest people that I've met so far. And again, I didn't know him. We just started talking about music. I get in his lives. I try to interact with him as much as I can to support him. The dude is super, super talented. And he battles like mad. He's an animal. He is an awesome, awesome dude. He's one of my favorite TikTokers on here. And he just is on my show. So how awesome is that? I wish I can get him back. He hopped on. I know he's busy and I know he's doing his thing, guys. He jams all the time. Like I said, he is a phenomenal musician and he is a super talented human being. That is one awesome dude. So, Kaji, man, I appreciate that. That was awesome. But yeah, you never know who you're going to meet, right? So that's why I say, guys, keep an open mind, keep an open heart, keep an open spirit. The people that we come across on here, they're all fantastic. They're incredible people. They have a lot to offer in the world, guys, right? So I know, and she's going to kill me for this, but Overthink Queen always, she follows this rapper, right? And she's always telling me, you got to listen to him. He battles with these famous people and he battles with this, right? But anybody who can do that is famous in their own right, right? So if you have a big, so
Wait, a quick question. Are you seeing my comments?
I am, yeah.
You're just ignoring me.
No, are you asking me about what?
I've been asking you, like, I've been commenting the whole time.
Yeah, I've been seeing them.
Kaji is looking for you. April
I
12th.
know.
Do you have plans?
Yes, I have the wrestling thing, New
Darn
Japan.
it. Okay, I'm going to hop off. Battle
All right.
Kaji.
Okay, I am. I'm gonna try and find Kaji, guys.
How the heck do I get off? Okay.
I don't know. If he gets on, though, he is awesome, guys. He is one of my biggest inspirations here on TikTok. If he gets on, I am gonna get him back on. I'm looking for him now, and I cannot find him, and I really wanted to chat with him. I don't know what happened, and I don't know how to look for him. If anybody can hook me up with Kaji, please do that. He is awesome. Uh, Man, I'm really struggling here to find him. I don't know where to do it. I'm looking through all my invite list and I can't get him on. And I really want to because the guy is amazing. He's an incredible, incredible talent. And I don't know how to do it. I'm looking all over for him. There's no way to type in guest, and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling. Guys, if any of you can help me and hook me up with him, I am looking for him. I'm looking for other creators. Oh, let me see. Maybe I could do this. Hold on. I am going to find him. It is going to be my goal. All right. He's in a match, it says now that he's live. So if he ends his match, and he gets back on, I would love to have him back on. He is awesome. If you guys don't follow him, do that. Um, if you can, that would be great. I apologize. Um, I thought she was talking to somebody else about the plans for April. I didn't know that was for me. So sorry about that. I didn't know. Elaney, definitely do that. Do I follow you? Because if not, I am. Yeah, I follow you. You can send the invite if you want now. So I'm gonna do that real quick here. Um, I'm gonna get Paranoid Thread on now. She's gonna be my guest for tomorrow. If Kaji pops back on, I will do that. That'll be awesome. Uh, that was so cool. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are ya?
Good. So I was just hyping up the show about tomorrow, and I just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. So as soon
Hey,
as
that's awesome.
yeah, so as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna go over there. I'll pop this video up, and then I'll go live from YouTube for the first time ever. So
Oh, well, that'll be exciting.
yeah, so I was telling all my guests about you and what you do, and kind of like your history here on TikTok with how you do the gaming stuff and how you have the Discord and the Twitch and that kind of world that I'm not used to. But I also told them about what you do, what we talked about, and I think everybody is super excited to have you on to talk about what we were gonna do. So I don't want to give up too much information, right? Because I want everybody to be
Right.
excited about tomorrow. But having you on is going to be great for me just to talk about what you do, because I think that's an incredible thing that you do.
Oh,
So
thanks. Yeah, and I mean it's a huge thing, and I mean
yeah,
it's gotten so much bigger. And there's never a shortage of people who need
right,
help, and
absolutely,
being able to be one of the people who can provide that assistance is like honestly one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my
yeah.
life. So, yeah, I love talking about it.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome because I said, there's certain people that like they could help somebody in a crisis hands on, right? So you have your doctors, your paramedics, all your medical people, your nurses, your teachers, whatever. But you do something that is like way more outstanding than what they do because you've never met the person, right? You don't see them, you don't know anything about them, and now you have to navigate a circumstance to get them through, right? So
yeah.
that's awesome, right? That is an amazing thing that you do, honestly. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, that is incredible what you do. That, like I said, that you can keep somebody here on earth for one more day, right? That's a pretty big thing to do.
It is, and I mean sometimes it can be a pretty big burden to
Right.
carry, like after the
Absolutely.
fact, like
Yeah.
when the interaction's over, but after it's realizing like I helped this person when they needed somebody and they had
Right.
nobody.
Absolutely, right? So that's the biggest thing, and that's hard to do, right? That takes somebody special to do that, right? So that like I said, those are big shoes to fill. So that is awesome, and thank you for doing that, by the way, right? Because it's your job, but it's something that obviously you care a lot about. Because most people would never want to even consider doing that. That would just be something that they wouldn't even. You stepped up to the plate, so kudos to you. That is awesome.
Well, thank you. That means a
Yeah,
lot. And yeah, it's definitely not for everybody.
right.
It is, there have been a lot of people that have been like, I tried, I can't do this. It's
Sure.
too hard on my emotional health.
Right.
But I've always been the kind of person like that takes control of
Sure.
crisis
Yeah.
situations like in my own personal life. So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
if I can do that with people that I know, I can certainly do it with
Right.
somebody who's like, please, I have nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
I need somebody. And I'm like, I'm here. I'm
Right.
here. As long as
Absolutely.
we, 10 minutes, 3 hours, I'm here for you.
Right. And
So,
then, like I said, we'll talk about it more on the
yeah,
live,
for sure. For
when we're
sure.
doing it. But I mean, like, what a great outlet to have, right? That you have a number that you could reach out to if you need it, right? That is a big resource to have because there aren't a lot of countries that offer that, right? Like the US is very special in that regard that they care enough to set up something like that. So that again, that's a big thing that, we have that a lot of people don't. So, we'll talk more about it, like, because I'm super excited, like, because I got a ton of stuff to ask you, and I know you're filled with stories and history
Oh
and
boy, yeah, do I
so
have stories?
right. So I'm super excited. I would love to start asking him now, but I want to save it for tomorrow when we do the
Yeah.
podcast. But it's just awesome. Like I'm you're like one of the guests that like when I have on, you know, I generally kind of have a familiar background with them, right? Like I kind of know them or like I've had experiences with them. And like you're kind of the first one that we met on here and like our relationship and our friendship has kind of grown organically. And now like you're a guest, but like it's like I have so many questions about you and what you do and like it's like it's exciting for me. So
Well, and that's what's so crazy about social media. It's like I have such a love-hate with social media because
right.
sometimes I'm like, oh God, here we go again with more social media nonsense. But then at the same time, it's like you make these connections with people. And I have had lifelong friends that I've known since I was 18. I'll be 35 this year.
Mhm.
We've never met a day in our lives,
Yeah,
but we're like this.
right.
Like we know at any time we can call, text, whatever. We'll
Yeah,
be there for each other. We
right.
know everything about each other. And so it's just cool to have that
Yeah,
connection that you
it's
wouldn't have otherwise.
right. And that's what, and I was telling, a little bit earlier, I always kind of use the example of like social media is easy, right? Because if you see somebody on the other side of the screen, you can send them a message and not feel like worried or uncomfortable, right? Like, people have no problem saying like, hey, I like, the hair bow you have on. Where'd you get that, right? But if you're in a real environment, right? And somebody's sitting across from you, are you going to tap on their shoulder and say, hey, I like this? Or no, right? You're going to be like, that's weird, right? It's odd. You
Yeah,
don't want to
very
walk up
rarely.
right to a total stranger. But here in this social media environment, you have no problem sending a message to somebody saying, hey, that's great makeup. Where did you get that color? Where can I find that? But if you saw somebody, at a restaurant, you wouldn't say, I really like your makeup. Where'd you get that? Right? You're not going to ask them. But
Yeah.
here you have no, so that's what I love about this networking ability. It gives people that more comfort zone, so that's kind of so the podcast tomorrow is going to be 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We actually just moved it up a little bit just because I'm going to meet my friend Randy and like I was saying earlier, I haven't saw I we were great friends growing up. We kind of lost touch out of high school, into college. I played football. He went to the military, and social media brought us back together. So I'm meeting him for the first time. I haven't seen him since 1997, 98.
See again, the power of social
Yeah.
media.
So it's awesome. So like I'm super excited. And I know as soon as I see him, we are gonna go right back to when we were 5 years old playing baseball together. So I'm
Yep.
I'm like excited to have that like emotion come back out because we've stayed in touch, but like we just haven't gotten like close again. And then over the course of like the conversations we've had over like the last few weeks of like learning about him and his family, and him learning about me, like we lost touch. Like we knew each other as kids. So Kaji is waiting for the invite. Did I tell you about Kaji, the guy that plays the guitar, the one that wears the mask? Was I telling you about him? So he hopped on my live to congratulate me, and I lost him. And somebody's saying that he wants to get back on, and I don't know how to do that. So, um, but I'm here with you, so I want to promote the podcast. So I'll worry about him later. You're my focal point for now. But it was awesome because he's like one of the few guys. Like when I first started TikTok, you go to the things that like you like, right? So like
Yeah.
I went to wrestling and I went to bands and I went to artists, and he was one of the few guys that I first saw that he showed up in my feed one night, and the guy's jamming out to Spirit Box, and I was like, this is awesome. So I just followed him and I just started sending him messages. The guy's a super like awesome guitarist. He plays like phenomenal. Yeah, I mean he could be a mega star in any band if he wanted to do it. But he capped on my live when I hit the 100. So one of
Well,
his
that's
friends was saying he's looking
awesome.
for me. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. So all right, well Quincy, I'll see you soon. So yeah, so I was just saying too, a lot of people want to hop on, when you're live, but I always generally ask permission first, right? Because I don't want to take somebody and post it to YouTube where it lives forever, right? So when
Right.
I on my live in 30 days, TikTok clears you out, right? They just kind of disappear. So I always feel weird when I do something to promote my podcast. If somebody wants to hop on, I like to post all my stuff over to YouTube, but I don't want to make anybody feel weirded out that that's going to live forever over on my channel. And they're like, I don't want to be on there. Now I got to take it down. So that's why I always try to ask people, hey, if you come on with me, do you mind if I post it? And most people are like, no, go ahead. But you just don't want to have the one person that's like, no, why did you do that? Right?
Right.
I don't want to ruin any relationship. So, so that was kind of, kind of it. So, but yeah, I was telling everybody earlier, I don't know how long I've been on now for, probably just about an hour, but, I was telling everybody how excited I was, how we met, how we got introduced on TikTok, and then, the stuff that you've done, like I said, is it's really inspirational to me, honestly. Like I love the fact that I get to ask you all these questions tomorrow, because number one, it is moving, right? It's going to be a very moving episode because of the subjects we're going to talk about, right? But how relatable is it to people in the world, whether you're going through them yourselves or you have family members or friends that have gone through it? Everybody's been there, right? Everybody's seen the darkness that the world has to offer, but you confront it like as your job. Like, that is an incredible thing, right? That's a very moving thing to do, right? To try to get somebody in their darkest, deepest, times a little bit closer to seeing the good in life, and that is hard to do. So I envy you in what you do. It is really incredible, and I mean that. It is
Well,
awesome.
thank you. I really do appreciate that. And I mean, it's like, I even as simple as something of getting, like, if I order something from DoorDash or whatever, even after they drop off my stuff, I send them a little note afterwards, and I'm just like, thank you so much for what you do. Like,
Right.
thank you so much for making sure I didn't have to leave my house to
Yeah.
go and do this, because like things like that can be very thankless,
Right.
and a lot of people
Sure.
choose to be ugly towards people
Yeah.
in situations. And so it's I am a very positive person.
I am.
I'm really
Right.
big into like positive reinforcement and things like that.
Absolutely.
And
And that's what I was kind of drawn to you about, and what I like about you so much is because I'm the same way, right? So I was just saying earlier, there's enough evil and meanness in the world, right? And sometimes you don't know if somebody that's live on TikTok is using this as their last cry for help, right? So why be mean to somebody? Why go into somebody's live and start bashing them and saying you're ugly, you're overweight, you're a nerd, you look geeky, you why are you on? Like, I'm always like, be uplifting and help people out. Like, be nice and be kind, because you never know what's going to happen after that person ends their life. If somebody says the wrong thing, it might be their last moments on this planet, right? So, like, you don't want to end somebody's, life because you were mean to them, right? Like, you can never get that back. So I'm always like, if you're on my live, I always try to stay positive, and I tell everybody, what you see is what you get. I am this guy outside of here, right? So I'm always upbeat, and I'm always, but I am this way in life. Like, I don't want to get anybody, down. And of course, we all, like I said, we all have bad days, right? The jerk that cuts you off is going to get the horn, right? And you're going to
yeah,
throw the fingers up, right? That's going to happen, but you're not going to carry that with you, right? That's a moment in time. But it's just to be nice to people and like to be kind and uplifting. And that's why I was drawn to you that way, because your shows are always upbeat, and they're always, and it's just fun to be around, and that's what I like. So that's, so it was easy to make that connection. But once we started talking about what you did, like, my respect for you has gone up greatly. So
well, thank you so much. I really appreciate
yeah.
that so, so much. And, I was thinking about it too, just bringing up the whole thing about how, people can be so rude, like
Yeah.
when people go live on TikTok or anything like that. I couldn't sleep last night. I was dealing with some insomnia stuff. And so I thought, oh, whatever, I'll hop on live for a little bit.
Sure.
And naturally, you're always going to run into the trolls.
Yeah.
But there was just this one person that just would not give up on just being so ugly and
Yeah.
insulting and just like picking me apart left and right.
It's
And
terrible.
their goal was to just get under my skin. And the more I ignored it and the more I laughed at it and was just like, you can feel how you want to feel, but it's not going to affect my day any. Like,
Right.
I'm so sorry that it's 3 in the morning and you're so upset with yourself right now that you have to come and attack a
Exactly.
total stranger. But like, my heart goes out to you, and I'll be thinking of you, and I hope that
Right.
your night gets better,
But but
like,
isn't it crazy to think that there's people in this world that do that purposely to try to get under your skin? Like, that's
yeah.
their goal in life, is to make other people miserable. Like, why would you want, like, how could you look in the mirror and do that, right? Like,
It's because it's
knowing that,
projection. That's all
right,
it is.
it's
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 projection.
awful, right? And I get it. And but like, how do you look at yourself, right? To know that you're gonna pick up your device and you're gonna go and make somebody else's life miserable just because you can, right? How do you? I don't know. It blows my mind. So, but we don't deal with those kind of people, right? Like the positive people, the uplifting people. That's what we focus on, and that's what I built my group around. I'm sure that's what you built your group around, and that like I said, I think that's why we connected, and why we were being able to do this. But like I said, I'm just so excited to talk to you about the what you have to offer, because like I said, it really is incredible what you do, and I mean that. So I'm super excited now. I wish we could start now. I just don't want to ruin it for tomorrow.
No, I know. Well, and the good news is I work tonight, so I'm sure
Okay,
I will have plenty of stories
excellent,
additionally for
nice.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll
So,
yeah. So and like I said, I just wanted to personally thank you for doing this, right? Because it's not easy to hop on a stranger's podcast, right? It's most people that do podcasts know the person, right? Or they know about them. So number one, thank you for doing it. And then number two, like I said, when we end our show tomorrow, we'll figure out a day, maybe a month or two down the road, you can come back on and we'll just follow up with everything that you have going on, because your social media presence is awesome, right? So you obviously have a huge TikTok following, you have the Discord that you're building and all the other stuff, and that's all the things that you're passionate about, right? Besides what you do for work, right? So the video games and all the other stuff, like that's awesome. That's a huge community that you're building, and that's special. We could talk about that as well, right?
yeah.
That's another hour-long podcast, just of what you're doing on social media, and what you've built. Like that's incredible, right? Like that's not easy to do. So you know
You
it's
know, it's definitely
right.
it definitely takes a lot, but
Yeah,
it's always rewarding to have like the same group of regulars, like especially
yeah,
when I go
absolutely.
live on TikTok. I know without a shadow of a doubt there will always be at least 8 people that I know that within 10 minutes are right there with me.
So my wife is asking, she goes, "What's a Discord?" So just real quick, explain what like Twitch and Discord is.
Okay, so first of all, Discord, imagine AOL Instant Messenger, but it has servers in it, right? So it's a whole chat platform that you use to communicate with people, and you can have different usernames, things like that. But then it's got little servers, so each person has a server, and it can be dedicated to different things. It can be, like I follow some game streamers that have their own servers where they promote their streams, and they communicate with their viewers, and they have little contests and things like
Okay.
that. With the one personal server that I have, it's mostly just I have a whole section for just straight up just positive posts, like uplifting
Yeah.
posts. Um, I mean, I'm
So
I'm
so
obviously
so she's intrigued. I could tell. She says, "How do you make a Discord, or is that on TikTok?" And it's not on TikTok. It's its own
it's its own
user.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
it's imagine it's like it's a chat app
right.
basically.
So you can
Um,
go. So you can basically Google Discord, and it'll pop up and it'll navigate its own, right?
Yeah,
It's right.
literally just go to discord.com, and then
Yeah.
it'll have the little download button. You download it. It looks scary at first, but I mean, I if you wanted to make one for your
Yeah. Yeah.
podcast, I mean, that would be a great thing for you to do, and
So my
I can literally walk you through how to set up like
Awesome. So
channels
my
and stuff.
my my wife is Overthink Queen, so she's on. So she sent you a request, and then
Okay.
she sent you a message. So when you see it, that's my wife. So
Okay, cool,
yeah,
cool.
but I think she's intrigued because she's asking about the Discord and Twitch. So
Yeah, no,
it is.
yeah, and Twitch is just a YouTube for gaming is
Yeah,
basically what, and you can just watch people play games. You can interact with them while they're playing games. It's so multifaceted.
yeah.
And then with getting affiliate, um, it because they you can just be on it, play games, whatever. You can
What's up,
interact,
son?
you can chat with people. Then
Right.
you can affiliate, and then you can monetize. But then they have
Okay.
partner where you get even more monetization from it. But I mostly just do it just to hang out with my friends,
Sure.
and like I've
So
got
what
all the
game were you
family
playing the
fun.
other night? Because that was kind of a. It looked cool, but I didn't get it. Like I was like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, no, I can go into more detail about it tomorrow.
Yeah, that was pretty fun because I didn't get what you were doing at first, and then I kind of saw what was happening, and then it was like all new to me, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, But yeah, that's pretty cool. Because obviously you like video games, right? Like, so you like gaming in that community. So that's pretty cool.
Especially with the job that I do,
Yeah,
like playing games is the one way that I get together with my friends and
sure.
we just decompress and and one of my best friends that I just recently made that I play with frequently, I met him at work, which
Okay.
is which is so funny because we all work remote. So
Right.
it's like we're building these friendships with people we don't know, we've never met.
Right.
But we're
There's
so close. And
yeah.
so, it's a really fun way
Right.
to
And it's
separate.
right. And the one cool thing I can say, because I can relate to how what you're saying, right, is so what I do, right? If I see somebody else from another state, I can talk to them just as if they were my partner, right? Because they kind of know the overall spectrum. We've never met before, and I don't know anything about him or her, but we have that one common ground, right? So
Yeah.
we can connect on that level. So I'm sure you can do the same thing, right? Because your field is very unique to the people that, you work with, but you can meet somebody from, across the country, right? And someone in California or Oregon and talk to them about what you do because you have that common ground connection, right? Of that work is pretty, special to what to the
Yeah.
people that right. So that's what's cool, right? Because I'm kind of in the same boat. I can go to any state and talk to somebody and be like, oh, you do this, you do this. Well, that's kind of so having that connection is cool. So it's nice to have. All right, Miles, good night. So it's kind of nice to have that like core connection. So I relate
Yeah.
to that. Yeah,
Yeah, no, and it's really cool and because I've been working remote since the
yeah,
pandemic,
right.
but this is the first honest to God remote job. And I don't even like calling it a job.
Mhm.
It almost feels like it does it a disservice by referring to it
Yeah,
as a
you're right.
job
Yep, I
because
agree.
it's a service for
Right,
to me,
right.
like we're saving lives out here.
Yes. And
So
it
it's
goes beyond that, right? Because if something does go south, right, you feel it, right? Even though you've never met the person, we're all humans, right? And we all have that empathy for other people. So yes, you're right. It's way more than a job, right? So characterizing it as a job is does more of a disservice because obviously it's something that you carry with you and it's 24/7, right? So people don't understand that when you work a 9 to 5 and you have a job like and I'm not putting down like just say bankers, right? They're a necessity, right? People need to bank.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, they go home, they start the next day. They don't have to worry about the day before, right? Or what's going to happen at 11 o'clock at night because they're going to go to bed and they're going to wake up and they're going to go back to your job. But you can get a call at midnight, right? And then all of a sudden you're in it now, right? You're in the mix. And that's what people that have like a regular job, and I don't say regular in a bad way, but when they have that, they don't experience like what we experience when you get a call when you're like, nodding off and you're ready to go to bed, and all of a sudden you got to wake up and go.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and the other thing too, and it's not, spoiling anything by any
right.
means about tomorrow or anything,
Yeah, no,
but
no, no. That's
the one of the biggest things that I have drilled into all of my supervisors, my operations managers, my coworkers, never in my life, in any job that I have ever had, have I ever felt so cared about, valued, and
mhm,
the support is amazing. And when you do have those difficult conversations with people, they encourage you all the time, hey, if you need support, please reach out to us
right.
immediately. And there have been times where I've had to be like, hey, I just got off of a really difficult
Sure.
conversation and I'm feeling really, really
Yeah,
rough right now. And so they'll pull me
absolutely.
into a separate breakout room in Zoom and they'll sit and just let me talk.
Right.
And they give you that support. And even if it's not even work related, if it's your day off and you're not doing okay,
Yeah.
they're like, please reach out to whoever is on shift and we will make the
Right.
time to talk to you. And so
And
it's
that's
like, I've
and that's what's
never known
awesome
what that's like.
because I have all those questions about the relationship to the job for tomorrow, and we
Mhm.
will definitely talk about that because like we talked about earlier about the stigmas and stuff like that and breaking barriers like I said, what you do is probably one of the most underrated and unappreciated jobs because nobody knows about it, right? You're kind of in the shadows because most people that make that call aren't going to go and tell everybody, well, guess what I just did, right? They're not going to go out and say, hey, this just happened. They're going to, really focus on, the next steps, but you are the pivotal turning point in that. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like what's unique about it because it's not like you can go out and tell everybody what you just talked about, right?
Right.
So you kind of have that, real interpersonal relationship with somebody you've never met, but you can't really go out and say, guess what I just did, right? So
Right.
so that's another unique thing that we'll talk about tomorrow because it is difficult to do that, right? As
Yeah.
much as you might say what I just did is awesome and you know it, but you can't tell your friends like, guess what I just did, right? So it's a unique thing that we deal with, in our work and our line of profession. So like I said, I'm so super excited to talk to you tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for it too.
Uh, so I don't know what you have the rest of the night. Do you have anything going on? Do you want to tell anybody if you're going to be on, doing your gaming stuff, or if anybody's watching this wants to catch you later?
Let's see, it's 9 o'clock for me right now. I work at midnight, so I'm
Okay.
probably gonna, get my nightly
Sure.
routine going, eat, shower,
Yeah.
get, my whole snack set up
Sure.
for my
Right. Right.
evening.
Yeah.
Um, but I hop in when it gets slow because typically about 3 to 5 a.m. is when things kind of slow down. So,
Okay.
I try to find something to do to keep myself occupied to stay awake a little bit.
Right.
So, but tomorrow I do plan in the afternoon on probably hopping on Twitch for a while,
Okay.
which I have my Twitch link in my bio in my
Awesome.
profile here.
Cool.
So there's all kinds of clips on there, so people can check it out.
Yeah.
I will say most of the clips are of me being awful at the game. So but there
That's
are also some choice words. So if people are
yeah.
not fans of choice words, maybe
No,
don't watch some of those
yes.
clips.
When I post stuff on YouTube, I always click, is this made for children? Absolutely not, right? That's a big
Yeah.
no. Right. So,
But then definitely tomorrow at some point before and
yeah.
then probably after we do our podcast, then I'll probably hop on live as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
And like I
if
said,
I
I'll let you shout out all your socials. So like where people could find you if they're not linked up here.
yeah,
If they want to bring you over. Cause like I said, I'm new to the Twitch Discord community and I did it to follow a few bands, but I'm like intrigued about the mass amount of people that are on there. Like this community's huge, right? And most
it's
people don't know about it,
massive.
right? And I had no idea when you said I have a Discord. I was like, what's a Discord, right? I only knew about it because of the music, but I didn't really know like what was on there. So as I started to delve, I was like, this is really incredible because there's a ton of people on there doing a lot of cool things, right? So it's not just video games, it's everything, right? So it's a pretty neat.
It literally everything. I mean,
Yeah.
just recently with work, a bunch of supervisors and coworkers and we started a Discord server for a virtual book club.
Yeah.
So we have a whole server
Right.
just for a book club,
Yeah.
you
That's
know? So it's cool things like that. And one of the cool things too with Discord is you can like with mine, sometimes we do like movie nights where
yeah.
one of us will find a movie and you literally just share your
Right.
screen and other people can just click it and then you're all watching a movie together.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of there's a lot of layers to it, but
Yeah.
it's super cool. You can have
Right.
a server for literally anything,
Yeah, it
anything.
was awesome. Because like I said, I watched what you were doing and I didn't get it. I'm like, I don't understand. Like the screen is just there. I see things moving and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, but obviously there was a purpose of what you were doing. So that was awesome, because, like I said, you're trying to build a community and it's hard to do. And, and like I said, we could talk a whole episode about the work that it takes to really get this going, right? Like when I started doing podcasting, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to make a podcast and I'll post it. I didn't realize the amount of effort of building a social media community that you need to get eyes on everything you're doing. Like it is like a second job for me,
No, it absolutely, and
you
it's
know?
it's it's almost like a 24-hour
Yeah.
thing. Because I was in social media marketing for a while, and it is a 24/7 thing.
Right.
You cannot take a day off from it. If you're trying to actively market and, advertise your brand,
Yeah.
there is no day off from that. You
Right.
have to,
Yeah.
there's schedules involved of specific times where there's more traffic on different social media platforms, and those are the
Yeah.
times you want to focus on posting, you
Right.
know.
You're so incredibly correct because, like, even on my days off, like, I dwell on, like, should I just get off of work and, like, hop on real quick? And it's like, no, I need to change and shower and get ready for bed, get ready for work the next day. But then on my first day off, like, that's all I'm doing. Like, I woke up this morning at 8:30. I had some errands I had to run. And when I was doing that, I'm like, what am I going to say when I go live? Well, how am I going to get to TikTok? How am I going to Facebook, Instagram, and all the other stuff? Because you have to update everything. And that was, like, my main focus. So as soon as I got home, I went right to social media. It was, like, the first thing I did.
Yep. Yep.
So,
It is
yeah.
literally a 24/7 thing,
Right.
and you will think about it in your sleep. And
That's exactly right.
so
So,
you wake up from a nightmare and you're like, did I post on
yeah,
Twitter?
right. So, yeah, but that's awesome. So I'm super excited to have you on tomorrow. I'll let you obviously get ready for work and stuff. I'm sure you're busy and gotta go, but thank you so much again for being a guest on the show. It's going to be great. And then, like I said, we'll have a lot to talk about. I'll post this over on YouTube and I'll get everything going, and then we'll hook up tomorrow and we'll have a great show.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so
Awesome.
much, and I'm
All
really
right.
excited about it
I
too.
am too. This is going to be great.
All right, well, it was good
All right.
talking to you. I'll
Awesome.
talk to you
All right.
tomorrow.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye. So, guys, that was Paranoia Threat. She's going to be the guest tomorrow on my show. It is going to be awesome. Like, she is such an amazing person, and what she does is incredible. And I've said that 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,001. It is amazing, and I am super, super, super excited to have her on. It is going to be really a great show. It's probably going to be up there as one of my favorites. And I say that about all my guests, but like, this one's going to be special. It's going to be moving. It's going to be deep. It's going to be, some topics are going to be taboo, and that's okay, right? To get to know the stuff that we're going to talk about needs to be talked about. So even though it is sometimes it's considered a sore subject, but it's definitely one that needs to be discussed. So with that being said, if Kaji is on, I'm going to try and find him. If he's not, I'm going to hop on later, and I definitely want to talk to him. I said that enough. Paranoia Threat, guys, if you don't follow her, go to my link. I'm going to link her up. Follow her and what she's doing. She's got a great social media presence. She's got the Discord, the Twitch, all the social media stuff. She's awesome. Kaji, if you don't follow him, follow him. I can't say this enough. He was one of the few guys that I met on TikTok that I followed on TikTok when I first got on, because I didn't know what to do, right? Everybody follows different people in different walks of life, right? When I got on TikTok, I went right to wrestling and I went to music, and he popped up. And since day 1 or 2, I came across his stuff and I'm like, this guy is awesome. He is a fantastic musician, and he is a awesome person. He interacts with all his fans. He gets to know them. Like, he shouts out everybody. He pins people. It's awesome, right? He's really cool at what he does. But the guy is just an incredible musician. Like, I can't stop saying that. Like, he is a phenomenal guitar player. And again, I delve into music. I don't really play an instrument, but I've been a fan of music since I was like 6 years old, right? My parents were listening to music, and they've always had it on, and it's always been a big part of my life. And I kind of see talent like where I see it. And this guy is amazing. So if you don't follow him, follow him. I obviously can't get him on. I can't stay on much longer because I have to download this video. I have to do some quick editing on it and then upload it to YouTube. I have to do the show with Overthink Queen tonight, so I'm going to help her out. And then as soon as I'm done with her show, I'm going to hop on YouTube and I'm going to go live, because I hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, guys. And the people that were on here with me earlier, it was awesome. It was an incredible experience, and I'm glad I got to do that live, right? I checked it and I hit it and I'm there. So that's going to be awesome. So I will go live on YouTube tonight for sure. So that is definitely going to happen. So I'm super stoked about that. I'm just excited about everything, guys. My podcast, Talking to Paranoia Threat. Kaji hopped on for like 10 seconds and it made my night. Like, that was awesome. You know, I got to share this with all my friends and my wife, and like, it's been a great experience. Like, I can't thank everybody enough. It really means a lot to me. So again, this video is going to be posted on YouTube. I can't stay on much longer because I do have to do the show with her. So that'll happen tonight. She'll be live at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook. So that will happen tonight. And then as soon as I'm done with her show, I'll hop back on here, and then maybe I'll go live on YouTube from TikTok. Maybe I can do that. That might be kind of cool. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for being on, for being a part of this. Stacy, I know you just hopped on. I'll send you a follow. Everybody who was on earlier, I'll go through all my feeds. I will follow everybody who was on my show. Seth was on, Michelle was on, Mel was on. There were a bunch of people on. If I don't follow you, I'll follow you now. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast across the platform, guys. I will link all my friends. I'm going to make a post and just put all their links out, because everybody should know everybody, right? And just because I'm friends with somebody doesn't mean, but they are incredible people. I've met them on here, and our relationships have grown into like genuine friendships. Like Paranoia Threat was saying earlier, the people that you meet on here, you know, you might not know them in person, but you interact with them enough where you get to know somebody. So what I'm going to do is I'll link up everybody that was on the show tonight, especially Paranoia Threat and Kaji, but like Michelle and Seth and, you know, Mel, everybody who was on, I'll link them up. I'll make a separate post. So that way everybody can follow everybody and everybody can be in our worlds. But like I said before, the OGs, you guys know who you are. You mean the world to me. Overthink Queen 1, obviously, for being, you know, my partner in life and in this adventure and everything else. I love you, and I can't, you know, stress that enough. And everybody else who was on tonight, thank you guys. You guys are the originals. And if I can find Kaji, I am going to try to do that later. Follow him, follow Paranoia Threat, and all their links. So with that being said, guys, I am going to hop off. This video will be on YouTube in about maybe 15 minutes, depending on how fast it uploads. But head on over to Facebook, go to the Clubhouse Inc. It's the Clubhouse Inc. on Facebook. Join the group, watch the show. It's going to be awesome. Overthink Queen is going to be on there. So I'll be live with her in about 4 minutes. So when we do that, guys, just make sure you set everything up. Follow the Clubhouse Inc. on Facebook and subscribe to the link over there. And Bob, what's going on? I am going to end this live, but again, follow the Clubhouse Inc. on Facebook. She's going to be live in about 3 minutes. The Clubhouse Inc. on Facebook, or www.shoptheclubhs. If you want to get to her stuff online, I will post that in the link on Facebook as well, or I'm sorry, on YouTube as well. So I'm going to end this now, guys. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms. Thank you for all the love and support and everything. It's been great. Don't forget, Overthink Queen's is going to be on Facebook in about 2 minutes now with her show. That's going to be awesome. So go over there. I'll invite everybody on from there. Thank you guys all so much for all the love and support. I appreciate it all. The OGs, everybody, Kaji, Paranoia Threat, you guys are great. I'm going to post this video on YouTube. Again, I'm One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms. Thank you guys for the love and support, and I'll catch you in a little bit.